Are you a risk taker? Has that new you ever really considered that that one woman or one young lady can actually do the one thing great or small that starts a revolution? Read with me. I'm reading How Beautiful Are Your Feet, subtitle Transforming Relationships One Giant Step at a Time by R. Winone Morris, published 2014. It's week 2 of Women's History Month. So, of course, I selected a chapter about women risk takers. Are you a risk taker? Are you risk averse? This chapter's for you. You will learn about 2 different risk takers, women that took risks for 2 different reasons, and the reactions or responses from others as a result of those risks. I selected a chapter from Part 1, State of Affairs, Chapter 2. Revolution. It can be defined as a sudden, radical, or complete change, a fundamental change in the way of thinking about or visualizing something, a change of paradigm. Merriam-Webster's definition. Viva la revolution. It's a new year, it's a new you. What a great announcement. You've declared it on January 1st, posted it on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I commend and applaud you. I also challenge you, dare to go big with it. Has that new you ever really considered that that one woman or one young lady can actually do the one thing great or small that actually starts a revolution? Let's take a close look at what I believe to be a gold nugget, one that is hidden in plain sight. The gold that I am talking about is your influence, the woman's sphere of influence. Lots of people know the story of Esther and agree that she was indeed one who knew how to leverage her influence. Remember Mordecai's challenge? He asked her, "Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" Esther's hearty, tenacious response was to look in the face of adversity and declare, "If I perish, I perish." That's Esther 4:14 and 16. Talk about manning up. Don't you just get the chills? Now, let's look at her predecessor, Vashti. She was courageous in her own right, too. Granted, some people interpret Vashti's actions as rebellious and obstinate towards her husband, King Xerxes, who asked her to do a simple thing. That's in Esther 1:11 and 12. Others believe she was making a value judgment, refusing to degrade herself by publicly parading around naked, wearing only a crown, at the request of her perverted husband and king. Whatever the case, one thing is apparent. Vashti's single act sent an entire kingdom into a tailspin. So much so that the men, not the king, responded as if she were starting a revolution. They said, "For the queen's behavior will become known to all women, so that they will despise their husbands in their eyes." Esther 1:17, New King James Version. All women will be influenced, the man said. Now that's huge. They knew the impact of Vashti's stance. Can you imagine having that kind of swag? Consequently, to negate the effects of Vashti's single act, a decree was sent out to all the provinces under the king's jurisdiction. The edict demoted Vashti and allowed the king to save face. As one of the king's servants put it, when the king's decree which he will make, is proclaimed throughout all of his empire, for it is great. All wives will honor their husbands, both great and small. Esther 1:20, New King James Version. But the king couldn't erase what Vashti had done or make anyone forget her courage. This one woman's sudden, radical way of thinking caused a domino effect, resulting in an edict by the king that was aimed at all men, great and small. In today's language, that means big ballers and the average Joe. The biblical account points out that Vashti was displaced from her throne, and the rest, as they say, is history. Her departure cleared the way for Esther's ascension as queen. But Vashti made a powerful statement before she left. In fact, in some ways, it could be said that she was just as much a woman of conviction as Esther was. After all, Vashti was willing to put everything on the line for what she believed. Needless to say, the book of Esther is filled with a litany of precepts and principles to glean. For now, I'd like to focus on the mindset that Vashti and Esther shared in common. Their mindset is one of the greatest themes in human history, a woman's sphere of influence. In modern vernacular, some would call it girl power. Girl power. Do you have any idea how you might positively influence others by taking a stand? Maybe it means no more going along to get along, no more status quo or mediocrity, no more sleeping around, no more settling with just any man or embracing the "Ann is better than Nan" mentality, as the old folks would say. Or maybe it means setting a godly standard and sticking to it come hell or high water. Whatever your circumstances, God has empowered you to be successful. So you go, girl. Go leverage your sphere of influence. You never know who may be waiting or who may be watching, great or small. Thanks for joining this segment of Read With Me. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Until next time, this is Coach Roberta, your friendly disruptor and soul coach. Beloved, I would that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers.